Hi, college and career success. Welcome to week 3. We're really in the thick of it now, so hopefully you are doing well and getting adjusted to not only our course, but any other summer course you might be taking. So, as always, I want to encourage you to check out the lecture video for this week. We are in week 3. We are in just chapter 4, so just one chapter to cover this week, although there are still a few assignments. So please take a look at the chapter 4 lecture video to get a basis for what's going on in chapter 4, or spend some time with the chapter 4 textbook link or the chapter 4 slideshow. Whatever kind of fits your learning preference the best, I want you to utilize your time so that you are getting the most out of it as possible. So as we take a look for, oops, I gotta scroll back down. For week 3, you can see that you have your chapter 4 assignments and then a career services assignment, which is worth quite a bit of points. So this video, however, is just gonna focus on chapter 4 assignments. I will have a separate video for the career services assignment. You'll see that there's a spot for both of those right here. So for right now, I am just focusing on chapter 4. So you do have a discussion forum this week, just one discussion forum due by Wednesday for your weekly attendance, responded to classmates by Sunday, and then your chapter 4 assignment, your chapter 4 quiz, and your career services assignment are all due Sunday as well. So let's jump into just the chapter 4 assignments. So here we go. Chapter 4 discussion board is right here, and I'm going to talk about the chapter 4 assignment with it in conjunction because honestly, you kind of need to complete this one first. I mean, you might get away with not doing it first, but I'll show you what I mean by that. Here's the discussion prompt. Recall a decision that you've recently made. So it could be a small one like how you spent your weekend, or maybe a larger one like where you decided to work or go to school or anything like that. And did the values you identified through the determining your values activity in 4.1 influence that decision? So you see what I mean by you kind of need to know what that assignment is asking first. So that's why this chapter 4 assignment, I have it pulled up here. And this is actually a really quick assignment. So in this PDF here, you have a list of values, obviously not every single value, but a good amount of values here. And your job is to pull out the 5 that you think are pretty important. So if you think, and this is going to, you can think of it as just like professionally, or you can think of it as personally, or a little bit of both. So you can say like, oh, I really value like family, creativity, trustworthiness, stability, and calmness, whatever, your top 5 values. You can put them in any order you want here, but then you will have to, it asks you over here to rank them. So let's say you just put them random right here. So I don't know, I put calm right here, but it's actually in my rank of importance. Maybe it's only like 4th most important thing. Whereas here I put success, and success is actually 2nd most important. Or I could just rank them in order to begin with. However you want to do that is up to you. Again, this is not a complete list. There are lots more values, but this at least gives you something to start with because chapter 4 does talk about like value and personal and professional career alignment. So once you've picked out your 5 values, you'll go ahead and make sure you save it with your changes, and you will upload that into, oops, wrong one there. You will upload that into the Dropbox right there. Now, based on what you responded to those values, that's what you're going to talk about here. So let's say you want to talk about decision. You can talk about how you decided to come to Sark State, how you decided to start or quit a job, how you decided to go to dinner one night. Like again, it can be a small decision, it can be a large decision. And you're going to talk about, you know, did these values of success or family or balance or whatever it is, did those play a role? And if so, how did they play a role in that decision? So first, maybe describe the decision you had to make, because remember, we're at 150 words or more with your word limit. So maybe first describe the decision to give us a little bit of context, give us some background information on it. Then go ahead and talk about like how those values played a role, or maybe they didn't play a role. You can talk about that as well. All right, and then the last thing you're doing for just the chapter 4 component is your chapter 4 quiz. So that is a Word document. Again, it's going to open up, and the first question is, over time, a lot of people experience changes in their values and their goals. So think about, you know, the last I don't know, however many years, and one important value that you hold now that was maybe not as important when you were younger, and why do you think it's changed? So sometimes like the value of success or the value of family or the value of finances, whatever it might be, changes from, oh, you don't really think about it, to all of a sudden it's really important. So whatever value you want to talk about that's strengthened or changed or evolved as you've aged. Question 2, considering you want to learn as much as possible about your career, how would you design your plan for maximizing your experiences during college? Like what 2 or 3 opportunities would you consider in addition to the classes for your major, and how might those assist you? So that means, not the classes you're going to take, but maybe you want to take a look over here at the Stark State homepage under the info for current students, and you can talk about how maybe you can utilize the Career Services Center. Maybe you can utilize any of the student success offices or resources. Maybe you want to look at the student clubs, because that's a great way to get involved and network, build your resume, but even the ones that are fun. You can see there's ones that are very content related, like medical laboratory techs. You have your high-tech crime investigation, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. And then you have ones that are just for fun. You like Outdoor Adventure Club. You have a journal. So there are things that are for fun. So is there a club or an organization that you could possibly join? So think about some things that you can do. And maybe it's not related to something here on campus. Maybe you're thinking of like job shadowing or interning or something. So how could those help you prepare for your career? Question 3 is like an advice question. Vlad is having difficulty deciding on a major. After he's talked to people, he's still having trouble. He's coming to you. What advice would you give Vlad about deciding on a major? Question 4, compare and contrast the roles of advisors and mentors. Pretty simple, straightforward. Your chapter 4 talks about this. And then Mariana's concerned that she may not earn her degree within 3 years. She has been taking 12 to 14 credit hours each semester, but she's not sure which classes count to her degree. What advice would you give her? So make sure you answer all of those questions and then go ahead and put it in that drop box there. Okay, all right, so again, this is just the chapter 4 component of our week. I will be back to go over just the career services assignment so that you can focus kind of on maybe those a little separately. All right, I'll see you soon.